This your boy DeSean Jackson. You know how I do. But this here, this ain't about being flashy. This is game day, son. It's only about one thing. Getting that W. That's the only thing that matters right now.
He was one step away from being gone. Have to get to about the 30 and a half for a first down. If that takes the snap, he's back, he pumps, he looks, he runs, he's firing. Jackson got it. This is called the jerk.
Yeah, that's how we do it in California. No, a lot of you East Coast folk out there can't understand, but when you're out here in California, you gotta have that swag. DeSean Jackson, one of my favorite players, loved him at Cal when he played with my boy Zach Follett, love him now. And D-Jack has got that swag. And I love him. I can't wait to see what he does now with Kevin Kolb, who I feel is a better quarterback for that system. And it's on like Donkey Kong in 2010 from boy D-Jack. So welcome to the 2010 Pyromaniac video preview outlook for DeSean Jackson. He is phenomenal. He does it all. He goes long. He goes over the middle. He's fast as F. You know what? And yeah, what to expect from this year. He had 8 touchdowns, ridiculous amount of touchdowns, over 50 yards. Will that happen this year? I think it's going to be mighty tough. But his touchdown totals, I still think can stay the same. I think one of the things that benefits DeSean Jackson, Jeremy Maclin as well, is that Kevin Kolb is a more accurate passer, so they're going to run crossing routes, move to a more pure West Coast offensive scheme, and that's going to lead to a lot of run after the catch for DeSean. He's got the speed to break it away. One of my favorite NFL analysts who watches a lot of tape likened what the Eagles want to do with what the 49ers used to do when they had Montana, Taylor, and Jerry Rice, now with Kolb, Maclin, and D-Jack. So that means a lot of crossing routes and a lot of run after the catch for the yak yards. So if you think that last year was a fluke for D-Jack, don't have any fear. The guy's a phenomenal player. He's been underestimated every single year of his first 2 years in the league. Everyone wants to count him out, not think he's the real deal. The guy's dynamite. You want as many dynamite players as you can get on your team. I'm talking about the guys that are, when I'm building my fantasy teams, I want the guys, at least with my first 5 to 7 picks, that defensive coordinators have nightmares over. The guys that defensive coordinators are planning their whole game plan around. And DeSean Jackson, you have to count for him on every single play as a defense coordinator. If you don't, you see what happens. You get burnt. He is deadly in the return game, so if you get points for kick returning yards, punt returns, all the better. If you get points for whatever kind of touchdowns he scores, that's money too. The guy, he's a speed demon. The phrase says speed kills, and it definitely holds true with DeSean Jackson. The switch of quarterback, does it help him, does it hurt him? Like I mentioned, I think the long touchdowns will go down, but I think in overall production we'll see the same. The emergence of Maclin on the other side should continue to help him. He's not, DeSean isn't what you would call a dominant number 1 wide receiver per se, kind of like how Randy Moss and Andre Johnson are, but he is a number 1 wide receiver in the sense that what he lacks in size, he makes up for in speed, and there's not much more you can say about that. The speed is deceiving, and if you blink on the guy, he's gone. One of the most exciting players to watch this year. Where can you draft DeSean Jackson? I think his value is excellent right now. I picked him up in one draft in the 3rd round as my second wide receiver, and I was ecstatic about that. If you have to rely on him as your number one, there may be weeks where he comes up inconsistent just because if the other team's defense coordinators are game planning on him like they should, he may see a quieter game, but you can't deny his big playability, so he's going to put up the big numbers for you. So one of the things to consider is he may not be the most consistent guy, but in terms of where you want him on your team, I think a low-end number one wide receiver, definitely a high-end number two wide receiver. You can get him in this third round as your number two wide receiver, or the late second round, and then pair him with another player in the third. You're going to be golden. I love D-Jack this year. I think he puts up big numbers just like he did. And yeah, that Eagles offense is going to be fun to watch. I believe in Kevin Kolb. Kevin Cobb, Kevin Kolb, whatever. It's spelled Kolb, so I say Kolb. But yeah, Kevin Cobb, however you want to pronounce it, corn on my cob, whatever. They get it done. Andy Reid knows his players. He's not going to let Donovan McNabb walk if he doesn't believe he's got someone in Kevin Cobb. Kevin Cobb put up back-to-back 350-yard games. The only player to do that in his 2 starts this last year, including a big game with DeSean Jackson. So he can't get it done with the new quarterback at the helm. Overall, this offense is young. It's going to be fun. That defense it should be pretty decent, but like I mentioned earlier, this week with the Witten video and the McNabb video, is these three teams play in the NFC East, and it's a very competitive, if not the most competitive division in the NFC. So they're going to be playing in some shootouts, which are, you know, dream come true for fantasy football players. As far as D-Jack, his schedule, that's another reason to like him, because his schedule is very easy. So he's going to be looking at a favorable matchup every single week, or not every single week, but most weeks. So you got to love guys that have favorable matchups. That's all I got for you guys in the V-Jack video. I like this run and gun offense, West Coast offense. If you guys are on Twitter, please check us out. Please add us, follow us. We are always available to answer any questions you might have. We're some of the best at returning tweets. Not only returning every single one, but returning them in a timely fashion, usually within the hour. The only time I don't return tweets that fast is if I'm sleeping, and got to get my rest at some point. But if you need to get at us, here is our Twitter tags, at Pyromaniac with a 1, not an I, at PyroLion, Pyro_Lion. So thanks again for watching, guys. Do the jerk like DeSean Jackson. If you don't know the jerk, you can learn it. My little brother knows it. My girlfriend knows it. It's pretty easy to learn. We're white folk and we still know it. So learn that jerk. Impress all your friends to the next party. Get some of that California swag. And do it big like we do out here on the West Coast. All right, Lion out. Hope you all are having a great summer. Hit at me, get at me, however you need to get at me. DMX style. Late.